me do that shit.
How did your family take to you really being dedicated to skating growing up and having that be your whole life?
So growing up in a pool hall, like it was an all Vietnamese pool hall too. So like wasn't like it was like there was sketchy moments, you know, like there was like gang activity and shit around, but like so they were always just like, yeah, just go go skate. They were very lenient with me because like they were like, yeah, just go play with your friends and go outside and skate and do whatever, like, you know. And like so they were very lenient with me, and like they just thought, you know, skateboarding was a hobby, which was fine. And like growing up, they, you know, like they supported it. They were never like, don't stop skating or anything. Like, you know, they're always just like, yeah, just do good in school and do whatever you want after that, you know, school first and then do whatever. And then but they were very lenient, and like they didn't realize you could make a living off of it, obviously, you know. But like I don't know when that happened, when I was like, when I moved here, you know, they're like, well, what are you doing out there? I'm like, I'm skating, you know, and skating. And they're like, well, how are you paying for your food and rent and shit? I'm like, through skating. And they're like, how? And I'm like, sponsors and all this and this. And they're like, what does that mean? You know, I'm like, you know, Mom, remember the shit you subscribe Thrasher? Like, you know, fucking those dudes, and they were doing it. Like, you know, I'm doing it. And then like finally, you know, they started understanding it more and more and more. And then like, you know, and then this more that I'd be in magazines, I'd sit in the magazines, I'd be like, oh shit, like now he's in the magazines and shit, you know. And like they saw that progression and they were like, oh, okay, this is dope. And then they were like proud to be like, hell yeah, my fucking kid's like doing it, you know, like, which is really dope. And like I'm lucky for that too, because I know a lot of Vietnamese and Asian parents are very strict and like, you know, you got to be a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever, you know. But like my parents were very lenient and cool with the whole situation.
Yeah. Were you born in Vietnam?
No, I was born in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
How come they came over here?
Mom, both was like escaped, like just get the hell out of here, you know. Like they weren't together when in Vietnam. They met in America and then they had me. But my mom, like, just they wanted to get out of there. It was like a fucking, you know, it was during the war. They were like, this is insane. My grandfather worked at the embassy over there, so he had a easy out, like an easy way to get the initial first people out of there, you know.
Yeah.
Like my mom, my sisters, my brother, grandparents. But then my dad had a different route where he like was at work, whatever, doing whatever, and like they were like, yo, the boat's leaving right now. He didn't get to tell his family that he's leaving. He just was like, it's now or never, get on the boat. And then had to get on the boat, and took 3 months to get here. And then, you know, but my dad would always go back to Vietnam. My mom was like, never wants to go back to Vietnam, never has been back, you know. So it's like I don't know, it's like they were escaped and they wanted to make a whole new life out here, you know.
Yeah. Did you ever go over there?
I've been there one time, and that was probably like 6-7 years ago, and it was a Thrasher trip.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which was fucking dope.
How was that?
You know, I didn't know what to expect because my mom was always like, never wanted to go back. So I was like, fuck, why? You know, something must, you know, whatever. She has her thing. But then my dad would go back all the time and be like, it's fucking dope. So I had like mixed reviews of like whatever. Then when I went on my own, I was like, dude, this is the fucking shit. It's obviously not like it was then, you know. And I was like, this is so dope. Like, it's like so free, and like you could do whatever you want. And it's like, and it's so cheap and nice. Everybody's super nice, you know what I mean? And I could speak fluently. So it was like actually my first place in the world where I could like speak my language, you know, and it was fucking dope, and like translating for everybody and shit. And it was cool. And like, it was just like really fun. And like, it was amazing. The food's obviously bomb. And then, yeah, so I don't know. It was fucking amazing. And then when I got there, they were like, fuck, me waiting for your ass to get here. You know, fucking Braden got here before you do. And I was like, fuck. Goddamn, Braden made it here before I did, you know, like, but it was pretty funny. But like, yeah, and the skate scene there is dope too, you know, like I didn't know there was a scene, you know, and then got there and there was fucking, and now it's even bigger since I was there last, you know. It's like growing. I'm still following them on. I'm like, they're all fucking getting good, progressing, you know, and I'm like, so dope, you know?
So you're in Oklahoma, and that's where you started skating, and that's where you started watching videos and getting magazines and doing the whole thing. Did you know the whole time you wanted to move out here, or was that just like a spur of the moment type of thing?
I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just skating a lot, you know, like from like just as a kid till like, and then I got really serious as like, you know, 15, 16, 17, you know, it got like, just like, all right, this is all I want to do. And then I turned 18 and I was like, or like about 16, 17, I was like, I want to go visit California. So me and some friends drove out here, and then I was like, holy shit, there's fucking skaters everywhere. You know what I mean? Like in Oklahoma, you like, we knew the skaters. It was like just us.
Yeah, you
know?
knew everybody.
You knew everybody. It was like fucking 20 people at I don't know, like 20, 30 people at max, you know? And then just driving down the street, like you'd be like, fuck, skate over there, skate over there, skate over there. Fucking, it's like perfect weather, you know? And then I was like, so I went back and I was like, damn, I got to get to California, you know? So just like saving money, working at Best Buy, and then like just saving as much money as I could. And I came here with like, I don't know, $1,200, thinking that would last me a while. First day, that shit's gone. Rent, you know, first month, last month, and you're like, shit, I have nothing, you know, like, and then, but yeah, I mean, after that first trip, I was like, I think California's for me. I think that's where we got to go, you know?
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
you came over here. You didn't have any connections to the industry, or did you know anybody?
I skated for Hot Skates, which is in Orange, California. And they were like, that was my only sponsor at the time. I was getting stuff from Planet Earth too, but there was like Mirko Mangum was sending it to Oklahoma. So that was like my only connection, but I didn't really know them, you know what I mean? So I just came here and was like, okay, cool. Rented a place in Huntington Beach, and then just started skating and like going to Hot Skates, getting like a board or two here and there, and then somehow got on Flow for like Toy Machine, and then like Team BK, which was hooking up with shoes, and like just kind of random shit, you know? But they also took care of me enough to where I could like keep going, you know, like not having to like buy boards, or, you know, sometimes I had to buy boards, but like, you know, they took care of me enough to be like, to get me going. And then it's like you had to like do it yourself, you know, the rest.
Yeah. So you moved here, and how soon into moving here did the Hellrose place come to be, and what was the living situations like?
From moving here to Hellrose, it was kind of like there's a gap where I was like, okay, so I was like living in Huntington. The people that came with had moved back already after like 5 or 6 months, and I was like, fuck, I'm not going back. I'm gonna stay. Stayed slept in my car at a church for a while, but then like I was working at Jamba Juice, and I was living in Huntington, working at Jamba Juice in Tustin. So driving there every day at like 5 in the morning, work, get off at 2, go skate, go back. And then I was like, fuck. And then one day I just got a call. Like I was getting flow from Toy Machine, and we got a call, and they were like, there's an AM trip going to the Northwest, like the Pacific Northwest. Can you go? And I was like, fuck yeah, quit everything. I was like, all right, let's go. Went, met everybody else, like Jay Roy, Richie Belton, Shimizu, all the foundation dudes, a bunch of Toy Machine guys. Got back, and then that was like right when Hollywood started with Chris Markovich, and that's when I met Richie and Jay Roy on that trip, and they were like, yo, fuck Toy Machine, ride with us. We just got this new company. I was like, all right, well, these guys seem like my dudes. So did that, and then that's when we all moved to Fullerton to live with Chris Markovich. He took care of us, and then that's when Hellrose started. Like we kind of all moved into an apartment building where like there was like 6 different apartments. And I was like, man, this is like Melrose Place, but like we're just like Hessians. It's like, and we just came up with Hellrose, and like, so it was just like, you know, 6 apartments just partying. And then, you know, like then we obviously was like, all right, next move is we got to move to LA because that's where the shit is at. I don't know. Like I just felt like LA was like our scene or something, you know, way more skating every day, you know, like easy to get around skating. Like you don't have to drive a lot. You can just like go outside and find spots. So we moved to LA, and that was the Hellrose that was in LA. And then, so that was like, you know, 2001 to 2004, we moved to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like pure skate house.
Both places, like the apartment building was all skate, like just skate like wake up, skate, barbecue, party, wake up, skate, barbecue. You know, it was like the same shit for like years, you know? And the same with Hellrose in LA. It was like the same. It was like, but we only had the place for 365 days, like 1 year lease.
Yeah, right about that.
Like a 1 year lease. And then you had to move out because they're tearing the building down. We're like, cool, let's do it. 365 days of like pure chaos. Like skate, party, skate, party, skate, party. Like it was like insane, you know, like, and so many people came through to like I don't know, that was a skate house in LA. Like everybody that came through like would stay there, or at least came by there to party. There was like parties every night, you know, like it wasn't like not one night was missed. Like,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it was a
How is it looking back on that?
man, it's like every time I see like pictures or someone sends me like a photo or a clip from that, I'm like, dude, it was so fun, dude. It was just like lawless. It was just like, you know, like we weren't doing anything bad. It was just like we were just having fun. Like 6 of us in a house at all times, just having good times. And like we didn't have a kitchen, so we had a barbecue every meal, you know. Like the kitchen was a kitchen, but the kitchen we turned into a room because it didn't even work. None of the shit was working, you know. So we were just like, all right, well, that's a room. And then 2 people were living in there now, so we would just barbecue every day.
Yeah, wasn't there like a fireplace that you just filled with broken boards and shit?
Yeah, like I mean, when it was, and then there was fucking also all the windows slowly got broken out from partying and shit. And then like in that year, for some reason, it was like it rained like the most that year. It was like the most rain LA's ever had, and like I remember it was like freezing and shit. And we were just like, all right, well. We have a fireplace, no heater. We were just like burning fucking boards and like space heaters everywhere and shit. You know, it was just like insane. But yeah, that definitely happened.
What was up with the landlord?
He
didn't give a shit.
He didn't give a shit. He was like, you can do whatever you want to this place because we're gonna tear it down anyway.
Yeah.
In a year, so like, literally just don't call me for anything. I'm not fixing nothing. Nothing. It's like. Just send the rent here, and we just drop off the rent next door because it was right next door to the 101 cafe at the time. But that was a landlord. They owned the house, and they knocked it down, and now it's a parking lot for the restaurant. But like yeah, we just walk over, give them the rent, and leave it at the fucking desk. I don't even know who the landlord was, to be honest. We just leave it at a place and be like, yeah.
So when the windows broke, you just never fixed them?
No, it was like fucking old ass windows, with like, you know, like slates, like, you know, and then like shutter windows, you know. And those are like so hard to replace, you know.
Yeah, and that building doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's flattened. It's a fucking. It's literally rubble. It's a parking lot.
Oh,
to this day.
They just turned it into that.
Yeah, it's just a parking lot.
Oh shit, dude. Damn. I mean, that's that was like my dream to live in a house like that when I was like 14. I prayed that one day I could live in a house like that, but I never got to. But I got close. We had this one homie, and his house was just that for us. Like his house was like the Baker house for us. So like me and like 5 other homies, his mom didn't give a fuck about shit.
Yeah.
And she would just let us do whatever 24/7. It was dope. It was fun as shit, you know, and trying to recreate like the shit we would see in videos and stuff. Yeah.
I remember like it was like, you know, because Baker had their house and then we had our house, and then all the Baker dudes started slowly leaving their place and coming over to Hellrose and shit and kicking it. We're like, damn, like they're over here now and shit. And then like it was like Shane Hell would always come over there and kick it. But across the street from us was where Daniel Shimizu and Jason Hernandez lived. Like, so there was another house across the street, but like it was a skate house, but it was like way nicer. And like now they're like Shimizu skates for Nike, so like a bunch of Nike dudes would come stay with him, like, you know, like Alex Olsen or like whoever would just stay with them and then just come over, party at our house, destroy our house, and then go back and, you know, to their safe zone. But like it was like fucking so fun, man. Like, yeah, you can ask anybody about it that went there and they'd be like, fucking that shit was nuts, you know. Literally, I want to make a fucking documentary about it. We tried once already, but footage is kind of scattered. But that'd be sick. That'd be a sick one.
No doubt, yeah, yeah, dude. How inspired or influenced would you say that shit was from like Baker and watching the videos and stuff? Obviously nowadays that's your fam, but
I mean, ever since I saw a Baker video, I was like, that's my shit. That's what I like relate to the most, you know, like, because I was in Oklahoma and we saw Baker 2 and all the Baker videos and Birdhouse, you know, like, and when it slowly, like when Reynolds got from Birdhouse to Baker, then seeing that whole thing, I was like, that's the shit. Like and then we started doing that in Oklahoma. You know, we had our Oklahoma crew and shit, and we were doing the same thing. I had a skate house there, you know, like kind of, it was just like the same shit. And they came there too. Like Reynolds and them came by and kicked it, and there was like a demo, or whatever. But then they came over afterwards and they were like, yeah, this is skate houses are like, do they still exist? I mean, they have to, right?
I feel like they might, but I don't know. I know a lot of I know the skateboarders in New York, like the younger generation, and I feel like in New York it's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if they still fucking exist anymore. I feel like that was a part of also like older America.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. Like, because everywhere you would go at this time, like we'd travel around and there would be skate houses, you know, like in fucking like Missouri or wherever, you know, like you'd go on tour and you'd like, oh, where are we going out? And then they, you know, you meet the local dude and they'll be like, let's go to my house. And it's like the same shit. They were all over, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure they still exist, but like probably very few, but like the shit was sick, man. Like it's where everybody would go and like party, eat, chill, sleep, you know, like it was always, the doors were always open. You know what I mean? It actually didn't even have a lock. So the door was actually literally open. So like, you know.
Yeah, to me it was like that. I guess the skate house represented true freedom and true like stress-free, relax and forget, you know, whereas like every other part of my life was just like not that.
And there's also levels to it. Like it's like skate house is skate house, but then I was like, man, wouldn't it be sick if like we'd always have these conversations like, wouldn't it be sick if we just had like own land and fucking build skate parks and build a house and do all this shit? And then we were like, that sounds so cool. And then I went to fucking Skatopia and I was like, never doing that. Do not do that.
Yeah, how was that? How was Skatopia?
Skatopia was fucking insane, dude. Like that was too much.
Where is it again? I've only seen that shit on videos. I used to fiend out over that shit.
Like in Ohio, I think. I forget what city it is in Ohio, but it's in Ohio. Like I forget what the town is called, but it's fucking gnarly. We went there for King of the Road. That was one of the missions, to go there, buy a car from fucking Bruce Martin and blow it up. That was one of the missions, and you had to stay there. And dude, it was fucking gnarly. Like I was like, you know, you think like, let's buy land, do all that shit. And then I was like, got there and I was like, no. This is like, you started a whole different, like, that's like way beyond what we need to do.
When you stay at Skatopia, where are you staying? Like, where are you sleeping?
Where did I sleep? I can't remember where we even slept. Like on the ramp, under the ramp, or in the car or something.
Yeah, because it's not like they have like a motel or accommodations
like,
or anything.
I forget
like
where
that.
we slept even, or if we even slept. Oh no, we had tents and shit.
Okay.
Yeah. There was tents everywhere. Also, like people just like living there that had been there for like months. You know, like in tents and shit. Like it's fucking nuts.
Does that shit still exist?
Yeah.
That shit's fucking.
I
The
remember
ramps were just like whatever the hell they wanted them to be too,
just
right?
throwing shit up and doing whatever. I remember being there, and his Bruce Martin's kid was there. Ripping skater, by the way. Both of them actually were fucking gnarly, but like the kid was like, yeah, I never went to school. This is my school. He was like 16, 17 at the time, maybe. I can't, you know, a teenager. And he was like, yeah, this is it. And I was like, damn, it's fucking pretty sick that you rip this hard. And you know, like, but like, holy shit, like you never went to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not knocking it or nothing, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't want any more land. And
Yeah, you never want to do
I don't
that.
want to do that. Like maybe do it differently, but it was fucking dope though. Also, I'm not knocking it. It was fucking amazing. And like, you could fucking just go, you'd walk up, grab a shotgun and just shoot a car. Like all good, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't matter. It was like the next level of like skate houses.
Yeah, it's like the black belt level of skate house.
Final boss.
Yeah, so you're in California, you're doing the thing, and you're living in skate houses and doing the thing. When did that go from that to like you're fully sponsored, you're like living off of skateboarding, and you realize like, yo, I'm actually making it. I'm actually doing this.
I mean, we were all in that house. We were all like doing it already. Like we were already getting paid. And we already started Hellrose, the company. Like Hollywood was already happening. We took over that, and then Hellrose happened. We took over that, and then Foundation happened. It was like all at the same time. So we were like all like, everybody in the house was like, it was like Ragdoll, J. Roy, Richie, DJ Chavez. You know, like everybody was like doing it. You know, and yeah, I don't know. It was like right then, but then like, but none of us saved any money. Nobody told us to be like, oh, you gotta save money and pay taxes and shit. We were just like, fuck that. We were just like partying, almost just barely getting by. Also, like, but like, yeah, nobody's told us that shit. And like, I wish they would have taught that in school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, at that exact time, we were all doing it, and like, we were like, we can make this, and like, you know, then we all moved out, and then like, moved into another skate house, and then we were all kind of like trying to progress. Like, okay, we all get our shit together. Now we got windows, you know, like let's start saving our money and shit, and like, but it slowly just started happening, you know, like, and then yeah, but they never, yeah, I don't know. It was skateboarding never was like save your money,
Yeah.
do this, put it in this.
Especially not back then.
Yeah, not back then, you know, like, and now it's like, you know, hopefully people learn from our mistakes, I guess, but like, I feel like they did.
Yeah, I think that the new generation, or I guess the newer generation, especially people who are starting to skateboard like today,
Yeah.
have tons of examples of people who approach it really like a athlete
Yeah. Yeah.
and like a
business.
business.
Yeah, like a
like
business, yeah.
they understand like, oh, I'm a fucking brand, dude.
Yeah.
They understand like, oh, if I play my cards right, I have like fucking power over shit, over my destiny.
Yeah. That's 100% true. And I've seen it. So yeah, like it is like a business, you know, you are your own business, you know, like nobody said that shit back then, you know, to us, like, but like we had to learn on our own, but like learn the hard way, but all good, you know, like, and now it's like, yeah, the younger generation, they're doing it, like, and they realize it, and it's dope, you know, like seeing Figgy buy a fucking house and Rowan buy a house, and you know, it's like, fuck yeah, like, you know, like that's awesome.
Yeah. It's also people like that's why I respect people like Reynolds and people like Julian Stranger, people who like built a brand off of passion and then took all their homies and that's the brand, is all the homies.
Yeah.
And then took everybody with them.
Yeah.
And it's like they have full control over the videos, they have full control over the whole shit that goes down, and because they know, they really understand skateboarding and they really understand what's up. It just, you know, people feel that and it works.
100%. And it shines through, you know, you can tell like if the owner skates or if they don't, you know, like, and like you said, Reynolds is like the fucking man, you know, like he built it, brought everybody, like you said, and just like has that same core value of like what he sees, like, you know, he's very in tune with the streets also, and like, so he's a genius, and like it's like, and the way he took care of everybody was like, it's amazing, you know, it's like one big family, you know, and like kept it real tight and like never strayed from it. So, and you can see it.
Yeah.
Like Anti-Hero too, same shit.
Skating for Baker, how'd that come about? You started when you were 30 years old, right? Skating for Baker.
Yeah, I got on at 30, which is fucking crazy. But like, I was like, you know, like I said, we all grew up together, like, you know, but like came up together, like Sammy and Richie, we all like same time coming up, you know. So like Sammy got on first, and then Lizard and Slash got on, then when they started Death Wish, and then it was just kind of like a natural progression of like, hey man, your homies are over here now, so like, and you skate with them every day, you seem like you're like a very big part of this whole thing, so like just come over here with us, you know. And I was like, can't argue that, you know what I mean? Like, and then I told Foundation, they're like, yeah, all good, you know, thank you and wish you the best of luck. And I was like, fucking later, peace, love you, thank you, and I'm out, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I owe a lot of it to like all my sponsors and all the people that brought me up. It's like, you know, like wouldn't be anywhere without all that shit, you know, and how it played out and everything. Like I wouldn't change it, you know, like that's how it went down, and that's how it went down, and like it's perfect in my eyes, you know.
Yeah.
And like Baker obviously was like, fucking yes, fine, you know, like not like finally, but it's like, fuck, dude, this is insane, you know. Like I didn't believe it at first. I was just like, I got a call and I was like, bullshit, hung up, and then I was in the car and I was like, wait, the only people that would prank me are in the car and they're all asleep. And then he called back and I was like, oh shit, this is real. That's how it went down.
Yeah. How's your experience over there?
At Baker?
Yeah, just like how it's been since you've been on the team, and yeah.
I mean, first it's just like it's awesome because, you know, you're on Baker and it's like you feel like you're a part of something, you know, like you're like, I finally felt like I made it home or something, you know, like I'm a part of something. Everybody in it is like fucking really tight homies, you know, like outside of skateboarding, we like, you know, we do all kinds of shit together, and like but like Reynolds was always like, okay, you're like not like a boss, but you're like the guys that Sammy and Lizard and them look up to, so like you can like tell them go over there and they'll be like, all right, let's go, you know, like it's like, so like that kind of thing. And there was like kind of like you know, like, and it's just like growing up with Sammy or watching Sammy grow up and like just being around everybody. And then now we're like all a part of the same thing, going the same direction, doing the same shit, going on tours together, the same, you know, like that. It's like the best shit in the world, you know? Like I said, it's like I made it home, you know?
Yeah, I've talked to couple of people about this, about Baker, and about how it's weird how there's a ton of board companies and a ton of board companies that have killed it and were killing it for their time, but it's hard to just maintain that for generations as skateboarding changes and trends change and different people are popular and different kinds of kids get into skateboarding. But Baker is one of the brands where it's like, it's just, I guess it feels like it's a part of skateboarding. Like without that team, without those people, without that brand, where is, like, it doesn't even make sense that skateboarding still exists in the way that it did. And, you know, it's a weird thing that they can keep it going for that long, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Reynolds is a genius, and like, he's always got his ears to the streets, and like, he knows like you know, like just with even the young skaters, he knows like Cater, T-Funk, those dudes, you know, when they got on, they were like 14, I don't know, like 14, 13, you know what I mean? And then, but he knows that they're going to be with the fucking right, I don't know, guidance. I don't know if that's the right word, but like the right people around him, they're going to be the fucking gnarliest dudes. And they fucking turned out to be like, T-Funk's fucking insane. Zach isn't, you know, like all the younger dudes are like, he knew that from then, you know? I didn't know that from then, but like, obviously meeting them and skating with them, like, yeah, these guys are fucking good. But now they're like T-Funk's insane.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just, yeah. And that's probably how it, you know, how it happens. Cause like you get the younger dudes, and then now they're the dudes, and then get the next round. It's like, you know, I don't know. And then that'll just make you stay in skateboarding, because it'll make you stay relevant in skateboarding. You know, like, it's like, you got the best dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. When you were, was there any fear involved for you, I guess, in the idea of like, eventually I can't skate at the same level of like hucking anymore? Was there any fear of like, what's next?
I wouldn't say fear, but it was just like, there was times I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? You know, like, but I obviously knew I can't just keep fucking hucking downstairs and shit. You know, I was just going to have to, like, I don't know. Something was going to have to give, and I was going to do something else. But like, whether it be like a different type of skating or something, but like, you can't, it's not sustainable to just keep hucking yourself down fucking stairs at 35, you know what I mean? Which was still happening. And I was like, what? This is like, luckily my body feels still fine too. Like, you know, like I don't have any like major like knee damage or anything. It's like, I'm still fine and still able to skate, which is like a blessing too, you know? But, there was no fear really. It was just like, you know, I'm going to just skate for as long as I can. Whatever am capable of doing, then I'll do it, you know? Yeah. So, yeah.
With all the businesses that you started and all the shit that you're doing, was there any conscious transition period? Like,
I mean, I definitely skate less, but I still skate, which is enough, you know, I have way more fun skating now than all the pressure and shit, you know, like, so I get to like have more fun skating, like go skating a ledge is like fun, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't have to fucking huck down a 10 stair, you know? But skating curb, it's just being on a board is fucking fun, you know? Mm-hmm. And that'll be a part of my life forever, you know? It'll never go away. So yeah, I don't know. No fears really, just try to do what you can when you can, while you can, I guess. Yeah. You know?
That's a good outlook on it. Yeah. Open beer. What's up with that? When did that start, and what was the idea behind that?
We started Open Beer probably, I mean, the idea of it probably like 3 years ago, and we've been in the market for just over a year. And we basically just wanted to start something like, I've been wanting to start a beer company for a long time, and like, you know, like the restaurant, I always wanted it in the back of my head. And then talking to Dave Sipnewski that used to work at Thrasher, he was now the marketing guy at New Belgium, and we started talking about like doing a beer, and he was like, you know, can you, you know, we wanted to start one like a, just do it the right way, do something sick, do it for fun, you know, like not try to flip a company, you know, like we want to be there for the right reasons with our hearts and do it for like art, music, and skating, you know, like come up from that angle. And like and I, you know, like growing up skating in Oklahoma, it's like a Vietnamese kid in Oklahoma was like a little weird, you know, but like my skate homies always had my back. It was like white dude, Vietnamese chick, a Native American dude, another dude that was just, you know, it was like didn't matter what you were just like, okay, meet you at the school at noon, and everybody showed up all looking different, and didn't matter. We just were there for one common reason, to skate and shit. So like wanted to bring that into like just that mentality into it, you know, like, and like also the cans are white and we want to change the artwork on it like skate graphics, you know, so the graphics will change, you know, and use our art relationship with artists, you know, like, and like started it with Tino. So Tino does all the art, like gets all the artists together. He gets the, you know, he picks the artist he wants to use, and then Akko and Atiba are creative, and I'm like marketing guy, and we're all co-founders. So like we wanted to also be like BIPOC owned beer company. You know, like we're not trying to be pressing that, but it just is what it is, and like that's how skateboarding was to me. So like I wanted to bring that freshness into the beer world. Yeah, you know.
Who were some of the artists? I know you guys did stuff with KATSU. Did you do stuff with Mario Yala?
No, we did the first round was the 3 artists was KATSU, Joe Roberts, and Meryl Smith.
Okay.
And the next round is coming out in pretty soon here, so I could probably talk about it now because it won't probably be out for a while. But like we got Jeff McFetteridge, Alfonso Gonzalez, and Sonia from Cumtees.
Okay, yeah. Dope.
So that's the next 3, and they're all LA based this time, and you know.
Are you guys keeping it strictly LA for now, or what's the deal?
We wanted to be in LA because that's what we know, and like it's our backyard. So like we wanted like at least take that territory not over, but like just focus on that territory and region to be like just for the support, you know, for the support system and stuff. And like now we're spreading, but like we're going Nevada next, and then hopefully Chicago, New York.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier on when we first started talking, you got mad shit going on. And does it ever get overwhelming, like keeping different frames of mind? Like right now I'm doing the burger thing. Right now I'm working at Supreme. Right now we haven't even talked about the music stuff. You know,
it's like you know, like I with the music I've been doing a lot less. I'm not in a band anymore, but like, you know, I still love music, listen to music, collect records, and DJ a lot. But like so that's a little bit less. The burger thing, I have brought my friend in as a partner as well. So like he kind of took a load off of me for marketing on that side of things too. So mostly I'm focused on beer, and then trying to just oversee like a little bit of everything else, you know. But beer is my main focus, you know. Like so, like that's what I want to like pump, and you know, want everybody to try it, and like anything we can sponsor, like art show wise, music wise, or whatever. Like I want to just be a part of that, you know.
Yeah.
So focusing on that more
than even because of the burger thing, you got the partner.
Yeah, I got another partner, but like but it's beer and burgers, and then skating, and like yeah, that's the mains.
Did you design the burger restaurant?
The inside?
Yeah.
No, my other partner Stephen Arroyo did.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep that aesthetic for everyone that coming forward. You know, like when we open the third one, we're gonna use the same tile, the same flooring, the same tile, and just keep it the same, you know, but like, you know, with updated, but like that colorway and that print we're going to keep using.
Yeah. I've always thought it was so dope to design a restaurant. Whenever
Yeah.
I travel the country and just go into different shops and different stores, I'm like, this is ill. If I was ever to be able to get the opportunity to do it, I would be stoked on doing it.
Yeah. I'm super excited for the third one, because the third one will be like from the ground up, and we're, you know, Steven had that eye for it. He's RIP now, but he had a very, very good eye of like a design eye, you know, like, and very like meticulous about like, okay, I want fucking maroon trim right there. You know, he had that vision, and he could walk in the building like, all right, this, and then it would be like, and then when you do it, it looks dope, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, praise to him for that. And he had a fucking great eye.
How'd you develop the menu? How was that process like?
Well, there's only two things on the menu: is burgers and fries. And I was like, I was like, but we do need to do another burger. And I was like, actually, fucking, I'm from Oklahoma, and the Oklahoma onion burger is the actual first smash burger ever invented in the Great Depression. So then I was like, fuck, this all makes sense. Like, let's do that. Let's do the Oklahoma burger as the other burger, and then the regular smash burger. Then everybody else started fucking doing Oklahoma burgers too after that, and I was like,
Bastards.
But all good.
So it was from the Great Depression?
Yeah, it was during the Great Depression. They would put onions in it and smash it into the meat to like stretch the meat to make it like more, more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
It was like probably 20 cents a burger, but like, that's literally the first smash burger.
And then as for the beer, I guess because that's a whole world, and there's probably like licenses and permits and a bunch of stuff like that because you're dealing with alcohol, sourcing it and making sure it's safe to consume. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So New Belgium Brewery, which is in Fort Collins, Colorado, they brew it for us, and then they have a minority stake in the company as well. They're our partners. So we get, if they ship it to us, and then we distribute it through Scout Distribution in LA. But every state has a different, permit you got to get, or a seller's permit, and it's like a different laws in every state, so it changes. So like Nevada was our next one, and like we had the opportunity to do it, and like it's a pretty big market, so like we're like, we have a lot of homies there too, so let's do it. And it was right there, so we can go there pretty fast. But New York is the one I really want to get into, and like I don't think it's just like it's different laws, but I think it's not that hard to do. It's just like it's just administrative work, paperwork and shit. But like that is like a market that I'm like, we know enough people there to like kind of penetrate it, like how we did LA. Like we know enough people there to be like, and enough bars, enough restaurant owners and shit to be like, we can really do kind of the same thing we did in LA. Like make an impact. And then have people on the streets that can like take care of it and handle it, and work with us and do the shit. So that's the next goal, is New York.
Nice. Do you mind if we talk about Volume 4?
Yeah.
So how did that start? How did that start?
How did it start? Oh, I know how it started.
This guy right here, I used to fucking skate around my city and see him rocking Volume 4.
No way, sick, dude.
Whenever what's funny? Whenever I think of Volume 4, I actually think of you.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
It started, I mean, like, it was like Sammy and everybody was on Altamont, and I was on like this company called Commune, and they kind of like folded at the exact same time. And I was like, Sammy, we got to start something. And he was like, I'm fucking down, dude. Whatever you want to do, let's do. I'll help you. I'm in. Whatever you gotta do. And I was like, and I was just sitting there listening. I was on the phone with him. I was listening to Sabbath, and I was like turning the volume up, and I turned the volume up, and it was like on Sabbath, and like when it's like volume 27 or whatever, and then the volume, and it turns back to what song you're listening to or what album it was. It said volume 4, and it was just like VOL 4, and I was like, damn, it's like kind of like, I was like volume 4, and he was like, what are you saying? And I was like, I think that's the fucking name. And he was like, I fucking love it. And then we just started like, I don't know, just like, it's like when you think of an idea, you're like, it's so exciting and refreshing. You're just like, holy shit, like, all we gotta do is this, get this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And it was just like checking shit off a list. Like, okay, I got the name trademark, got this thing done. I'm making the fucking lookbook, doing this shit. And then like, Sammy's just like, fuck it, let's go. And we're just like, just so pumped up to do something on our own, and that's like the first time ever doing that. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like writing ideas down in a book and be like, okay, I want to do fucking, just like writing, your dream list of shit you want to make, clothing wise or like idea wise. And then finding a person to help me with like the graphics and shit. And I was like, okay, I want to do this, and I don't know what to do with it. I had like a bunch of meetings with like Obey people, fucking, because they're my friends. I was like, what do I do? And with like Loser Machine at the time was going. I was like, what do I do here? And they're like, it's dope, but we already got a clothing shit going on, And I was like, they were like, we don't see any room for another one, like, make competition for ourselves, like. And I was like, all right, well, thanks for the fucking.
Like you were trying to grow it.
I was just trying to like start it.
Okay.
Like get manufactured. I didn't know where to get shit manufactured. I didn't know how to do cut and sew. I didn't know how to anything about print shops or nothing. I was just like, I had helped with designing some stuff for like Hurley and like the Commune and the people that I skated for, but that was like yeah, red there and fucking a stitch here. Like it wasn't like I wasn't like, okay, I gotta find the manufacturing places, you know. So then I was like, okay, I gotta fucking figure this whole thing out. And then I was like, fuck, I should just ask Reynolds and Baker Boys if, because Baker Boys was just starting too as a distribution company. I was like, I should just ask them, you know. And I was like, all right, I gotta line all my ducks up, get all my shit ready, and like I made a book like a hard cover book of like my ideas. It was like a presentation, and I was like so nervous. I was like, Reynolds and Eric and Greco, can I call a meeting with you guys? You know, like I was like, fuck, I don't know what the fuck I'm going here to say even, but they were like, yeah, cool. And then they had just got their new Bigger Boys, and they had like a giant desk, and I was like, fuck. I was like, God damn it. Like, then I printed like 4 books out, 1 for myself and 3 for that's all I could afford. And I was like, all right. Got there and like, what's up? What do you want to do? And I was like, what's this meeting about? And I was like, I just gave them the books, and I was like, I want to start this. I was like, and I don't know what to do. I need help. And like, I think this is my idea. I don't know, you guys. And they were like, they looked at the book and they're like, damn. They're like, this is sick. Let's do it. And I was like,
was it drawn? What was the book?
it was just like, I had my friend lay out like the graphics of like the t-shirts that I wanted to do. Like the first line of like shirts, jackets, and just I had like all the shit. And then like, it was like a deck, but you know, like
in book form.
You know,
Nice.
it was like a deck. And then they were like, fuck, this is like pretty professional, dude. Like, what the fuck? Where'd you come up with? And I was like, I don't know. I just went fucking, didn't know what I was doing. I just did this. And they're like, all right, let's do it. Like, you know, like they just backed it from the day one. They're like, all right, we see that you want to do it and care about it. And like, let's do it. We'll help you, you know? So then that was that. At first I was just like printing shirts at my house by myself. Like printed like.
You got a screen print?
Got like a fucking screen, went downtown, got a screen, got the shit, got the dryer, ordered a bunch of like 50 shirts, and the fucking first people that ordered it was Supreme. I made like 20, and it was like, and my homie Cortland was like, fuck, we'll take those. We'll take all of those actually, and here's a check, you know, like 20 of them. And I was like, I just sold some shirts. First try to Supreme. So then printed more shirts, and then I was like, okay, I got to do something. And that's when the book came about, and I presented it to fucking Baker, and then they were down.
And then you started distributing through Baker Boys.
Went through Baker Boys, and you know, and then they had all the they had all the, you know, the plugs for manufacturing. I was like, I want to make this jacket. Like, okay. They'd made jackets before, and you know, so they knew all the ins and outs of that shit, and like minimums and quantities and all that shit, you know, and like learned that. It was just like I didn't know anything, and I was just like, but I'm ready to learn. Like, you just tell me what I can do or how I can help or whatever, you know, and like, and just fucking go in head first and hit the ground running, you know, and that's my way of learning, I think.
Yeah.
Hands on, you know. So yeah, and then it was fucking dope for a while, and then, you know, and then it just kind of fizzled. But
was it mainly you designing the stuff?
Like, I had all the ideas, but then I had like, and then the graphic artists from Baker would help me put, you know, do the graphics and shit. And then I would also use like different artists to do shirts, and which was kind of sick. Like, you know, like having like fucking Eric Roper do a fucking sick rock shirt, you know, like, and like, man, it was just like, they were all just like random ideas. And then, but I'd tell the person the idea, and they'd put it on a shirt. Like, they draw like the first shirt was like a dream I had of my friend. The very first volume for a shirt was like, I was like, dude, I had a dream. I told him, I was like, my friend from Oz, I was like, I had a dream that you were fucking floating in space, playing guitar with you were plugged into the sun, and the sun was an amp, and you were playing to the fucking space. And he was like, that's a fucking sick album cover. And I was like, that's the sick shirt, actually. So I told another friend, I was like, yo, this is my dream. And he was like, cool, I got it. Drew it, and it was like the exact thing that, you know, and it was like the sickest shirt ever, you know. And that was like the first shirt, and I was like, wow, there's that, you know. But it was a bunch of random ideas, and it just worked out, and I don't know, it was fun too. So that's got to be the first, I think, is fun.
Yeah.
You know, if it sucked and you hated doing it, it's gonna suck, and you're gonna hate doing it, you know.
Yeah. So what ended up happening with Volume 4?
It just kind of like, we were too far ahead of, like, it was like, it started turning into like, we had to like get shit done like a year and a half in advance, you know, like, and it was like, it just got so gnarly, like, where it was like, And then we're like doing so many shirts. The shit we're doing like 20 SKUs now, and it just got too gnarly and like overwhelming for me. And like I was just like, we don't have enough people to do this, and so it was just kind of just fizzled out. Then kind of brought it back onto like the scale that I needed it to be, like a smaller scale. And then it was like, you know what? Let's just let it fizzle. But it's still there. Really, I could bring it back, but it's just I got so much shit going on, and like yeah.
So it basically grew way too big for what you wanted it to be. You try to scale it down, and then there wasn't enough people involved. It was mainly you and some homies. I
Yeah,
assume?
it was like me, my homie J Roy, and it was like just too overwhelming for like two people to like be able to fucking like produce all this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
the whole year and a half in advance shit is annoying.
it's like, dude, I'm like, by the time this comes out, it's not even gonna be fucking. We're making jackets in the summer. Like it's like, we should be doing like quick strike. Like 6 months in advance is like far. Like it should be like. We should be doing like every just like how Supreme does it. It's like a drop every, they know when they're dropping their shit, like it should just be like that,
Yeah.
But that's also hard to do. So it was just like too hard.
Clothing's actually fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like, trying to pre-book something from a fucking year and a half out, like it's just like too far in advance. But it was fucking fun and a learning experience, like I said, and like, yeah.
Would you say that shit helped you learn to, I guess, do all the shit you're doing now?
I mean, it definitely helped with a lot of like doing like apparel stuff now, like hats and stuff. Now I have like connections with places, like we need an open hat. I'm like, okay, we need an open hat or a Burger Throat shirt. Like I know exactly where to go, get it printed, the minimums and all that shit. So it definitely helped. And it's all learning and like, yeah, I mean, I feel like it definitely helps just like working with people too, like, and all that shit.
Yeah, that's cool. Supreme bought some too.
Yeah, that was the first sale.
Yeah, day one.
Pretty funny.
You mentioned Altamont, and that's fucking crazy because that was a brand I was super stoked on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was like the shit. I feel like that was like the shit. Everybody fucked with it super hard. I remember I got this one T-shirt, and it was like a weird, like dark, like black but gray, but like white. All like almost tie-dye, but it wasn't tie-dye.
Yeah, it was like a discharged.
And the shit felt like
so
super thin. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But like a good thin, not like
Yeah.
this is cheap. Like this is like silky. And I'm like, I'm going to skate in this thing every single day. This is my only thing I'm going to wear. The beanie with the A, like the A that they had.
Label.
The small label, yeah.
I'm just like, like, and that's what that drove me to do Volume 4, because I was like, just say Altamont, they didn't get, I don't know if they gave any ownership to like Reynolds or anybody or whatever, or like if Crew gave any ownership to Ellington or them, like it's like they just used them to like promote their own brand. I was like, fuck that, we got to go from the fucking bottom up, like we got to start our own shit, and like, and it was fucking fun doing it, like going on trips, Volume 4 trips, and like planning all that shit was like my favorite thing to do. Like, all right, we're gonna go fucking camping for a week up that way, and we're gonna play shows the entire way and skate, and it was so fun. And like did that so many times around the fucking states, and it was like went to like South by Southwest a bunch of times to do that shit, and like so fun. I think that's my favorite part about anything is like planning stuff.
Yeah,
planning events or planning parties or planning trips is like I kind of have like a good feel for it, and how, because I travel a lot, so I can know if it's too much or if it's not enough, so like it's fun for me. But yeah,
I thought that the logo and the branding was really good too. Like I vividly like remember the Listen to Volume 4 stickers.
Yeah.
And shit like that, and like almost like a Masters of Reality font.
Yeah.
I think it was like, I'm colorblind, but it was like black and yellow, right?
Yeah.
Or was it black and green or something?
The Volume 4 is black and yellow.
Yeah, black and yellow. Yeah. And it's just very recognizable. And then you get this sense that it's like, what, at first when I saw it, I wasn't even sure if it was a skate brand. It was like, if it had anything to do with skating.
Yeah.
I thought it just might be some music shit that I was unaware of.
Yeah.
Not even some Black Sabbath shit, just some like music. Maybe like I don't know. I didn't know what it was. I didn't think it was skating right away.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, like, I knew that we were onto something when I went to Vulcan one time, and like I was, friends with Remy, and walked in there to like because they have like a huge office, and then walked in and like they're like, hey, and the fucking designer was like, I got Volume 4 socks on. I was like,
the socks.
Are wearing, I was like, dude, these dudes are wearing this shit. It got over here, like it's crazy to just like you said, like anybody when you see it in the streets and shit, like like anywhere. I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like I went to Bali and Vietnam that and that one trip, and in Bali there was like a lot of dudes wearing Volume 4 shit, and I was like, what the fuck? How did like the fact that I got out of like my fucking living room to there is like fucking a dope feeling, So,
yeah. I went home and thought about it for sure.
Yeah,
like I remembered it.
Yeah.
Which is I feel like that's the sign of just good branding, good clothing, good gear. You go home and you think about it and you remember it and you shoot it. It's like the thing in graffiti where like you see one dude's tag.
Yep.
And you only saw one tag, but then you go home and in your brain you like saw a billion. Like he's more up than he actually is because his one was that good.
Yeah.
And there's it's like that's like clothing. Like you see some shit that's so fresh that you go home and you're like, in my mind, I just saw it a billion times. I only saw it one time.
Yeah.
Type shit,
That's dope, man. I mean, I had fun doing it, and it was like a good time, and I don't regret any of it. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Do you miss making clothing?
Yeah, but we're doing a lot more stuff for like Burgessy Road and Open, so like kind of still get to do some stuff, but not like as many cut and sew pieces. But like cut and sew pieces were dope because I had a fucking homie that would like making tech packs and shit. I was like, okay, I'd find my favorite jacket and we just fucking unravel it, like take it apart, like, okay, it needs this, like breaking that thing down and then sending it off to get a sample, fucking waiting for fucking everything. Then it comes back and you're like, fuck, and this is so sick. Like, like it's like, that's the shit that I miss too. But maybe one day we'll fucking go back and do some shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.